what brought you out here today?
I'm here today to stand with my Muslim neighbors against the negative rhetoric that's being lobbied against Muslims in our nation.
What do you feel like? What is some of the rhetoric that you find the most just harmful or potentially
Well,
really harmful?
just insinuating that Muslims are terrorists, insinuating that immigrants are terrorists, that immigrants are negative for this country. It's really shocking the nationalist rhetoric that's being pushed today, and this is how it all begins. This negativity is where we walk a very dangerous road toward persecution based on our religious beliefs.
And is that we're trying to get at is when we come out here to gather, what does that really mean to you to like stand up for your Muslim neighbors?
Well, what does it mean to me to be out here?
I think it's for me. I think a lot of the rhetoric that happens is like we all assume that we're coming out and this is what solidarity looks like.
Yeah.
But we're curious about, for individuals, a little bit more nuanced. What does that really mean to you? Like, what is resistance against?
There should never be any point where a government says, based on your religious background, you're not a valid citizen. I'm an atheist. I'm one of the least trusted groups in the nation. People don't trust atheists. They don't. As a student of history, it's really clear when we start laying this groundwork that one religion or one background is bad. We lay the framework for fascism. We lay the framework for the downfall of what has been historically one of the greatest nations for immigrants in the world.
And so, with your sign too, will you talk a little bit about how you see, and it's great that you're a student of history, the relationship between what we're facing now and kind of the difference between immigration and slavery and kind of, and that might be a lofty question.
Yeah.
But, some of the ways that some of those pieces come together for you, the history and where we are now.
Well, the heart of it is this. We're starting to build this whole belief system. Our leadership is starting to push this belief system that there are lesser citizens in America, that by coming from a specific background, you're of less value, you're to be distrusted, and that puts us into a scenario where we lose the ability to be the melting pot that we are. We're all immigrants. We all come from immigrant backgrounds. There's really very few people in America today that don't have an immigration background that brought them to this country. And many of them, if the stances that we have today, we have 7 countries that are on a list that should not be allowed. We have courts going back and forth fighting about whether or not we should let people with active visas back into the country or not. We're blocking people from exercising their rights to become American citizens. And so what's really happening is, I've got my son with me. My son's 20 months old. He's not going to remember much of this. But I still think it's important to, really fight back against what's being taught to our children, what's going to be taught to our children, that by coming from a certain nation, you're a lesser human being.
And I think one of the things that interests me about the rhetoric of we are all immigrants is the way it can silence the fact that there's a lot of indigenous peoples that are still here. And I guess what is your opinion on the difference between being an immigrant and those who have a background that maybe their ancestry is a different geographic region, but they didn't come over willingly, came over as slaves or indentured servants?
So we're still immigrants. We still come to this country from another place. And so accepting that place, that background, and welcoming that background is what makes us strong.
And then I guess my final question is, you said you brought your 20-month-old son. If you envision this country maybe 10 years from now when he's just starting to get into elementary school, what is something that you hope?
I hope that his future is not as dark as it looks today. Today, his future looks like one where we're isolationists, one where we deny other cultures, we view other cultures as threatening, and I deeply want to fight against that so that he can come into a world where everyone's welcome.